When you think of PewDiePie, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Me, when I hear the words PewDiePie, I think of YouTube royalty. YouTube royalty. Before there was Mr. Beast, before Mr. Beast was making headlines as the biggest YouTuber in the world with like, what is he up to now? 160 million subscribers. I mean, I was just making a video on him like last week or over the weekend. There was PewDiePie. PewDiePie was this shit from like 2012 to about, I'd say when he started slowing down, making videos, you know, started settling down in Japan. I'd say about maybe 2 years ago is when he really started to, like, that 10-year period, like almost 10-year period. Oh, you could say 10 years, 2011 to like 2021. But that 10-year period of PewDiePie was like YouTube. He was the king of YouTube. And unfortunately, when you're as big as him, you're going to make some slip-ups at times. And not only are you going to make slip-ups, but you're also going to get hate that's going to come towards you as well. Now, PewDiePie has not been short of any type of controversy in his whole like tenure that he's been on YouTube. Like I said, when you're on the internet for that fucking long, you're going to like do something accidentally or say something stupid, you know, like he did. If you're a massive PewDiePie fan, you all know about the bridge situation. You know, he made an apology video about that, which is, you know, well articulated video, probably one of the only apology videos that's actually not cringe as fuck. But then you're also going to get stuff that's going to be taken out of context as well. You know, me, myself, and when I'm with my mates and we're playing games together, you know, we're playing Siege or we're playing Apex or whatever the hell it may be, where it's on stream or off stream. Obviously, off stream, you're a little bit, you know, when you're not streaming and you're not live to the internet, you're obviously going to be more, what's the word? Basically, I can't think of the exact same fucking word. I've literally been sitting here for like 30 seconds right now. I'm about to cut this video. I'm also gonna have to cut it in editing, but like you're pretty much like uncensoring yourself. But obviously, when you're streaming, or even like sometimes, you know, when you're making videos, you know, you're gonna say something that's stupid, or you're gonna say something that you think is funny, and that you know that your audience will understand, and your audience will think is funny as well. But when you're as big as PewDiePie, you know, there's the media out there, and the media, especially now, but like even 6 years ago, you know, when PewDiePie got into a whole lot of controversy, which is what this video is about, you know, the media is like massive onto when it comes about, you know, YouTubers and stuff like that. You know, back like I'd say 10 years ago, if you were like a massive YouTuber and you said something extremely like, I don't know, racist, or, you know, that something extremely racist, the media wouldn't have said shit. You might have gotten a lot of hate in your comments, but the media wouldn't have reported on it at all. Like they honestly wouldn't have given a fuck about it. But obviously nowadays, and even like I'd say in the last, like, you know, maybe between like 2015, 2016, when like YouTubers started to become like really mainstream, and, you know, everyone started to realize how much money these people online are actually starting to make. That's when, you know, the media started to get involved a lot more. And there was a bit of a controversy about 6 years ago, because I had to like basically remind myself and like watch some old videos about it, and like what actually happened a little bit more about not like real in detail about it, because to be honest, there's not really much detail to talk about, but just to refresh my brain about the situation that happened 6 years ago. So if you don't know, PewDiePie made a video where he was on a website called Fiverr, which I'm not even sure is even around, but it's pretty much where you could just like, people would put up things that you do for them, and you pay them like $5. It was literally Fiverr for you pay them $5 and they will do this. So people would do like, I don't know, I'll draw you for $5, or do this and for $5. And one of them was like some guys. I'm not exactly sure where in the world that they were, but they did look like I think they were like, were they? I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to like say anything and then like people will be like, oh, that's kind of racist. But I think they might have been in like North Africa or somewhere around there. But basically they would just, you would basically just give them a message, and then they would just put it onto a sign, and they would yell the sign, and they'd start jumping around and dancing. There's something like that on TikTok at the moment as well. I know my girlfriend, she actually did something like that for her dad, where she got these guys to like say happy birthday Glenn, and like they started dancing and all that kind of shit. But there was like something like that on Fiverr, like that were the first ones to do it back in the day. And PewDiePie obviously put like he kind of wanted to test it to see how far it went, and he obviously made like the wrong joke, and he kind of just, you know, said an anti-Semitic quote, and I'm not going to repeat it just because, you know, I don't want to get fucking this video taken down for any reason. I may be a small creator, but I don't want, you know, if I do become big or for some fucking reason someone flags it and it gets taken down. But he basically said an anti-Semitic quote, and because PewDiePie, he didn't mean it in like obviously a malicious way, but you know, taken out of context, it's gonna be seen as malicious. Now he's obviously, you know, the media took that out of context and started calling him anti-Semitic, and then the whole mainstream media thought and started calling PewDiePie again. I'm not sure if you're allowed to say that word on YouTube, but started calling him the N word, and not the racial one, the 1940 German N word. But so yeah, and it was a really big thing at the time, especially for YouTube. Like, it was probably one of YouTube's biggest controversies at the time, especially for their biggest creator to be deemed an anti-Semite. And it was such bullshit. Like, everyone who really knew PewDiePie as a fan, or even people who were close to him, were saying that, you know, all of this stuff is being taken out of context. Yes, he may have gone a little bit too far with the joke. Obviously, you know, PewDiePie said it in his response video, which is on his channel, has been deleted, but you can actually go find it on YouTube, because I had to watch it just to like I said, refresh my memory about all the stuff that happened. And he said, he's like, you know what, I think that you can joke about anything, but there's also a time and place, which I think as well. I feel like you should be able to joke about anything, but there's also a time and place for things to be joked about. And you know what, sometimes some things can be insensitive to be joked about as well, especially when you're on the internet, and in 2023 it's even fucking worse. And that shit all happened 6 years ago. PewDiePie now is semi-retired from YouTube. He doesn't make videos that often. He still does it because he actually loves it. And obviously, you know, he still earns some dough on the side of it, so why the fuck not? He's married, and he has a newborn son, Bjorn, who was born this year. So we all thought that shit was all behind. We all, you know, if you're a PewDiePie fan at all, past, present, or if fucking future, even if, you know what, you know that all that shit's behind. But what the fuck happens? What pops up? And I know I've taken a lot to get to this point, but I have to there's a lot of context to this. And if you don't really know about it, I kind of have to tell you the context. Usually I like to show clips earlier in my videos, but I have been yapping a bit, but I kind of have to put that whole context behind it, because there's a lot to like unpack from this one, like this small as fucking clip. But there's a new show. If you haven't, it's by Amazon. It's a spin-off show of The Boys, and if you haven't watched The Boys yet, I fucking highly recommend it. The Boys is an amazing show. But they recently had like a spin-off show of it called Gen V, which is like, I'm pretty sure it's meant to be a spin on Gen Z. So instead of The Boys, they're all like younger people, like early 20s, like late teens, I'm guessing. I'm not 100% sure. I actually haven't watched the new show yet. I have heard good things about it though. I've seen online that like there's a lot of people who like it, but there is some people who dislike it. But I mean, that just comes with everything. But from what I've gathered, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. Tell me if you've actually watched it and it's not actually that good so far. But from the general conception is that it's actually pretty decent. But in one of the episodes, there was a joke about PewDiePie. And I don't really know if it's actually a joke, which is the reason why I'm making this video. Like, I could just be hypocritical and say that it's being taken out of context. But to me and to a lot of people online, from what I've read through Twitter, now I can't show the entire clip because obviously for copyright reasons, I'm only going to show a very small clip of it. So I'm going to try to remind myself, Donnie, please remind yourself. I'm going to remind myself while I'm editing to put the link for that full entire clip that I found on Twitter. So I didn't get it from YouTube, I found it on Twitter. So I'm going to show the clip now, and this is like the kind of, not really joke, the line that is said about PewDiePie.
You haven't seen it? Oh, well, I'm kind of like PewDiePie without the Nazi stuff.
So this actually came out like the 29th of September. So I'm very surprised that I've only heard about this like right now, because to me, this is like, it's kind of like, I don't know, they're not really like a big deal, but it's really hard because like, I really think that this is such like it's very insensitive to like mention something like that. Like, it's something that happened 6 years ago. This man is married, happy. He's finally living in Japan, and he's just had like his newborn son. And you go ahead and have to throw shade at the man like that. Like, he hasn't changed in the last fucking 6 years. Like, one thing that I fucking hate a lot these days, and I'm not sure if it's very like avid in this show. Like the show's been good so far, so who fucking knows? But I hate when people who are like part of the millennials and people who are boomers and Gen X and all that kind of stuff, a little bit older than me. I'm 25. So I hate when people like in their late 30s and 40s and 50s try to write scripts for people who are like extremely young, for like that Gen Z age, because it's just like they don't really understand like how people our age and people younger than me really talk or, you know, go about things. And it just, a lot of the times it comes off as cringe and just like really almost insensitive. I don't know what other word to really use at the moment. Like all I can think of is just cringeworthy. And that's what this line comes off as. Like to me, this line is like why did you even need to do that? Like even if it was a joke, like it's just like, it's not really like funny. It doesn't really come off as funny. And it almost feels like you're just taking a jab at the man for no reason whatsoever. Like, what was the point of that line? I'm pretty sure that you could have said anything else. Why did you have to like say I'm like PewDiePie without all the, you know, the 1940s German stuff? Like I don't really think that there is an actual point. Like I also know that The Boys is very like, it's R18 plus, bro. Like I know that myself. Like I said, I've watched The Boys and, you know, there's a lot of like, you know, pretty hefty scenes in the show. So, you know, it's not for just young kids and shit like that. So it's fine to, I think, make some, you know, explicit jokes, but I don't really think that this really comes off as a joke, at least to me. I just think that this comes off as extremely cringe and unwarranted and just like a slight jab at PewDiePie for no fucking reason. Like it's something that happened 6 years ago and you're trying to make a joke out of it and poke fun at someone. Like, are you for real? Like, imagine if I was PewDiePie as well, and I'm a massive fan of The Boys, and I'm sitting there with Marzia and Bjorn. Obviously, Bjorn's, you know, he's like not even one, so he's obviously not going to fucking understand anything. But, you know, imagine I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh yeah, let's watch Gen V, because I'm a fan of The Boys, the spin-off show for The Boys. And then that comes up, and something like that comes up. I'll just be like, are you fucking serious? Like, you really had to bring that shit up? Like, are you for real? So yeah, I'm just trying to see it from PewDiePie's perspective as well, where it's just like, why would you say that? Like, like what? Like, you're just taking an unwarranted jab at me. Like it's such a low blow. But yeah, that's it from me. Let me know what you guys think about this. Just let me know what you guys think about this. Like, do you think that it's insensitive? Do you think that it's really cringe? What do you guys think of the spin-off show as well, Gen V? Yeah, do you think it's just I think it's a bit of a low blow. That's my really like final conception. I just think it's a real low blow, and that like you could have put a different line in there. Like there's really no fucking reason to say something like that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Peace out.